Good day, everyone. I am Roque G. Pasahe, and today I'm going to talk about the topic educational policy and vocational education management. But before we dig deep on this topic, we will first define educational policy and vocational education management. Okay, so you have their educational policy. So it refers to the principles and regulations that govern educational systems, shaping how education is delivered and accessed. So as we all know, in every institution, so there are set of rules to be followed, especially for teachers when it comes to delivering their lessons, what are the strategies to be used, and the educational outcomes. So for them to have a guide, so that there will be a direction because without policies, so there will be no direction and possible it can affect to students' learning outcomes. So that's why educational policy is important to have a harmonious flow of education. Okay, so let's proceed to vocational education management. So vocational education management, so as we all know, when we say vocational, so it refers to education or training that is focused on teaching specific skills or trades related to a particular job or career. So that's vocational. So when we say vocational education management, it focuses on the organization and administration of programs that prepare individuals for specific trades or careers. So this includes developing a curricula, so ensuring quality training, coordinating with industry partners, and managing resources to support students in acquiring practical skills. So, for example, vocational training in the textile industry. So the skills might include operating a sewing machine, fabric cutting. So it refers to a very specific trades or careers wherein we can learn skills. Okay, so you have also there developing a curricula. So what are the learning objectives? What are the pedagogies to be applied? And also, what are the activities or assessments to measure students' learning, or if the students acquire that specific skills? Okay, so that's part of the curriculum. And also ensuring quality training, so through coordinating with industry partners. So it will include like immersion or apprenticeships like that. So I believe we already know about this during the senior high school. We were immersed by the different institution for us to work with experts, and we can also acquire skills. Okay, and also managing resources to support students in acquiring practical skills. So that's all about vocational education management. Okay, so now let's proceed. So you have there the subtopics for this report. First, national and international policies affecting vocational education. The second one is implementing policies to improve access to vocational training. And the third one is the role of government in vocational education reform. And the last one is policy evaluation and its impact on vocational education outcomes. Okay, so let's tackle national policies. So national policies for educational or for vocational education vary by country, but they typically focus on improving the quality, accessibility, and relevance of vocational training to meet the needs of the labor market. So as what you can see there, education vary by country. So in every country, they have different set of policies because it will depend on the needs of the labor market. So when we say labor market, so it refers to the supply and demand of labor. So where employers seek to hire workers and individuals offer their skills and labor in exchange for wages. So when we say labor market, so it depends on what are the demands on that specific country. For example, there is a demand for textile uh, in the textile industry, so they need of employees. So they will train people about the skills in textiles. So that's one of the example of labor market. So what kind of work is in demand to that specific country so that they will focus on training of that kind of skills or skills that is needed for that industry. Okay, so that's national policies. So let's have the first one, Germany's dual vocational training system. Okay, so it combines classroom instruction with on-the-job training, creating a highly skilled workforce that meets the demands of the country's industry. Okay, so for this one, there is a combination of on-the-job training or OJT and also classroom instruction. So in the classroom, they can learn uh, theoretical knowledge. So it's not application yet, but they can learn background or like knowledge, basic knowledge, but not skills yet. And after that, they will apply that learnings or theories that they have learned in the classroom. So they will also go to a real environment wherein they can acquire skills, okay, not just knowledge. So there is an application of the knowledge that they have learned in the classroom. Okay, so there is a combination of theoretical and practical learning. Okay, so the students will be split. I mean, the students split their time between a vocational school, so theoretical instruction, and also being an uh, employee, or they will immerse themselves in the training or what we call on-the-job training. So learners spend part of the week in school and other part at the company. So so for example, apprenticeships. So young people enter into apprenticeships with companies gaining practical skills that are directly applicable to the labor market. Okay. So that's all about Germany's dual vocational training system, combination of theoretical and practical learning. Okay, now let's have the second one, United States Perkins v. Act. Okay, so you have there, it supports career and technical education by providing federal funding to improve programs at the secondary and post-secondary levels, ensuring alignment with local and state workforce needs. So just in case if you have question about the term Perkins v. Act, so the term refers to the Perkins v. Act, which is named after Carl D. Perkins, a former U.S. congressman from Kentucky. He was a significant advocate for vocational education and career training programs. Okay, so as what you can see there, supports career and technical education by providing federal funding. So when you say federal funding, so federal, so when you say federal, so it refers to a system of government, right? So wherein power is divided between a central authority and smaller political units like states or provinces. So in a federal system, both the central government and the local governments have their own responsibilities and can make their own laws. And when we say federal funding, okay, so federal funding refers to financial resources provided by the federal government to support various programs, okay, projects or that initiatives at different levels, including state and local government, or it can be nonprofit organizations, educational institutions, and private entities. Okay, like for example, funds from the city. So the city, like for example, the now city, so they can allocate funds. Okay, because I would say federal, so the power is divided, from central to smaller political units. So like central authority like president and down to like let's just say like governors and then mayors and then let's just say yeah like authorities in the city, and they have the rights to allocate funds to support programs or projects like training and especially to those people also who has a low income, so they can provide help for students to pay for their college tuition, for fees or any educational expenses. So that's it. So to improve programs at the secondary and post-secondary levels. Okay, so ensuring alignment with local state workforce needs. So for the skills that they are acquiring is also applicable for the demand of that place. Like for example, they can acquire um, training or skills for um, manufacturing industry and textile. So, for example, uh, textile machinery, production, and design, like that. Okay, so the main point here is like providing funds, okay, for people or especially for students to acquire specific skills that are useful or like demand or useful for the workforce. Okay, so that's United States Perkins v. Act. So next, let's have the Australia's National Skills Agreement. So a policy to align vocational education and training with employer demands and industry needs, focusing on skill shortages in key sectors. Okay, so you have there uh, focusing on skill shortages. So when we say skill shortages, so the skills that the people have in that place is not relevant to the industry requirements. So as what we can observe nowadays, there are many job mismatch. Okay, so wherein the skills that you have is not suitable for the job that you are applying. Okay, so for this, Australia's National Skills Agreement, so they are focusing on skill shortages. So they will respond to labor market needs by preparing workers with the technical skills that align with the industry requirements. And also, they will also foster collaboration between industries, educational institutions, and government to ensure that training programs are relevant and meet real-time employer needs. So focusing on skill shortages in key sectors means prioritizing training and education efforts to address the specific areas of the economy where there is a lack of qualified workers. So these key sectors are typically industries that are growing or critical to the nation's economy. Like, for example, agriculture. Okay, so there are many people who don't have skills for agriculture, but it's really uh, important because it can help our economy to grow. So they will train people about the skills in agriculture so that people can acquire relevant skills. And also other industries. There are many other industries that can contribute to our economy. So they will also focus on training those skills. Okay. And also, when there is an alignment of the skills and industry requirements, so it can help also companies to avoid productivity losses and helps individual to gain employment in well-paying or in-demand jobs. Okay, so the main focus here is to fill positions which to fill positions with people who has the available skills that the company requires or the employer needs. Okay, next let's have the international policies. Okay, so international policies for vocational education and training aim to address global labor market demands, promote sustainable economic development, and enhance individuals' employability. Okay, so the previous one only focuses on a specific country because it depends on the demand of that country. So they will focus on those skills. But here, international policy, it's the global. So it covers not just one country, but many countries. So it provides a broad framework that encourages global standards and cooperation. And while national policies are just tailored to the specific needs and circumstances of each country, so especially in specific sectors, for example, textiles. So here, let's have the first one. UNESCO or Univoc Global Tibet Strategy. So the overview, UNESCO's strategy for technical and vocational education and training focuses on improving education systems worldwide to promote sustainable development, reduce poverty, and encourage lifelong learning. Okay, so you have there the key features, align Tibet programs with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG number 4 on quality education and SDG number 8 on decent work. So as we all know, there are, if I'm not mistaken, 17 sustainable development goals. So it includes quality education and decent work. Okay, so quality education, so it ensures inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So it will ensure that all individuals, regardless of gender, background, location, have access to quality primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Okay, so there should be equality. Okay, and also for sustainable development goals number 8, so you have their decent work. Okay, because it is related to economic growth. So the goal here is to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. So when I say decent work, so those work or jobs that have a what we call this one, um, proper wages, like, and also have health benefits like that, and other benefits. So others because they would just work and then they work for many hours, but they can just receive uh low salary. Okay. So when you say decent work, so those jobs or works wherein we can receive the salary that we deserve, and also the number of hours is also appropriate or proper, unlike the others, and they work overtime and then they are paid less. Okay, so that's the sustainable development goals, and I think that these goals will aim to be achieved on in the year 2030, because it's from 2015 to 2030. Okay, so you have there the next one: foster inclusive and equitable education, ensuring access to marginalized groups such as women, people with disabilities, and the rural populations. So with regards to location or gender and people with disabilities, as long as they are capable, so they are not excluded, they will be included, and encourage development for emerging sectors, including green and digital economies. And when we say emerging sectors, so these are industries that are expected to grow significantly in the future due to innovation, global trends, or environmental challenges. So you have there, sorry, so including green economy and digital. So green economy, this refers to industries focused on environmental sustainability, such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, waste management, and climate-friendly technologies. So that's green economy. So you have there digital economy also. So this includes sectors related to information technology like AI, robotics, data analytics, e-commerce, and cyber security. So why is it important? Because they are very relevant for future employment. So as traditional industries evolve, new jobs will emerge in green and digital fields. So people need the right skills to take advantage of these opportunities. Okay, so we need to prepare for the future. What are the skills that we need to acquire? Because possible the skills that we have today, it will not be applicable in the future, because there will be another focus. We'll focus on sustainability and other things relevant or that can contribute goodness to our economy. So people need to prepare. That's why they have this policy. Okay, so next is International Labor Organization Global Skills Agenda. Okay, so the overview, the ILO's global policies focus on skills development as a critical element for fostering inclusive economic growth and achieving social justice. So vocational education is a key aspect of their efforts to promote decent work globally. So you have their key features to promote workforce development through vocational education, skills certification, and lifelong learning. So you have there the next one, focus on employability, social inclusion, and ensuring that training programs meet needs of all workers, including those in informal economies. And you have their strengthened public and private partnerships to ensure that training programs are demand driven. So here the main focus is to boost the inclusive economic growth by helping more people, especially those vulnerable groups. Okay, vulnerable groups like, for example, those who live in the remote areas, so they don't have the easy access for education, and to those with disabilities, and to those women who are discriminated, and other inequalities. So those are vulnerable groups. And also, they are encouraged to participate in the economy and also to promote social justice by reducing inequalities through access to training and decent work opportunities, and also to ensure decent work for all, as what you can see there. Uh, there are jobs that are fair, safe, and also can provide a sustainable livelihood. Okay, that's it. And then, so you have there also including those informal economies. So just in case you have a question about informal economies, so example of these are those unregistered businesses, such as small scale operations that are not officially registered with the government, such as street vendors, home-based businesses. So they are included for this training programs and strengthen public-private partnerships. So that's internship, right? So others or maybe all of us already know this one about internship. Internships. So there is a collaboration between public institution and private companies so that students gain the practical skills and also industry exposure and experience necessary to succeed or like the necessary skills for them to succeed in their future careers. So these partnerships help align the academic learning with the needs of the labor market, and also it can ensure that students are better equipped for employment. Okay, next we have the European Union. European Skills Agenda. So the overview, the European Skills Agenda launched in 2020 emphasizes reskilling and upskilling to meet the rapidly changing needs of the European labor market. Vocational education and training are key components of this agenda. So you have there, the main focus is to reskill and upskill. So when we say reskill and upskill, so the focus of reskilling is to learn new skills, okay, to transition into different occupations. What when we say upskilling, so to enhance the existing skills to ensure that workers can keep pace with new job requirements. Okay, so this is vital as industries such as the digital and green sectors, so they demand new competencies. Okay, so the key features prioritize digital and green skills to meet the needs of industries undergoing transformation. So you already know about digital and green skills, right? Digital. So it's a digital. So these are the abilities needed to use digital technologies effectively in work, communication, and in daily life. Okay, so this include a wide range of competencies from basic to advanced levels. And when we say green skills, abilities required to support the transition to a more sustainable economy, including jobs that reduce environmental impacts, promote sustainability, and restore natural systems. Like, for example, in agriculture, so for the agriculture to be more sustainable, like for example, when we say like using um pesticides, so we can have organic pesticides so that it cannot affect the the environment, because when we use synthetic pesticides, so it can affect, so it's not sustainable. So instead of using synthetic, so we can use the organic ones so that we can promote sustainability in that sector. So there are many sustainable skills that we can acquire. So it's just a sample for a specific sector. Okay, and also you have there promote lifelong learning and encourage continuous skill development. So lifelong learning, because there is reskilling and upscaling. So once we learn that skill, so it doesn't mean that we need to stop the learning, because lifelong learning, so we need to adapt and um, adjust, because it depends on the need or the demand of the economy. So we need to reskill and upskill, and we can learn something. So there is a continuous learning. And next is strengthen the European qualification framework to standardize and recognize vocational qualifications across the EU or European Union. So as we all know, the European Union, so there are countries. It composed of different countries, so you have their European qualification framework. So others, or maybe all of us, already know that there is also Philippines qualification framework, wherein, like for example, for the first one, so we have the diploma, and then we have the uh yeah, we have the NC1, and then NC2, and then NC3, and then NC4, and then after that there is a like diploma, and then bachelor, masters, and then doctorate. So that's the example of like Philippine qualifications framework. And for European, they have also different levels. Like for level one, basic knowledge and skills. So you have there is also, in every level there is a specific learning outcomes. And they have also the level two, basic vocational education. And then for level three, so there is also a intermediate vocational education. And for level four, post-secondary vocational education. And for level five, short cycle higher education learning outcomes. And also level six, bachelor's degree. Next is master's degree and doctoral degree equivalent. Okay, so same in the Philippines, we have also eight. So like level one, as what I've said, NC1, NC2, NC3, NC4, and then until doctorate level. Okay, so what's the purpose? So that there will be a standard and recognized vocational qualifications. Because, for example, if you are in that country, one European country, like for example, in Spain, okay. So if you acquire a specific skill in Spain, so and then you are going to apply for a job in another European country like Germany, so you will be accepted also, because they have the same EQF, or European qualification framework. They have the same standards. Okay. So for example, you have a plumbing certificate in Spain, so that can be understood also and accepted in Germany if you will apply. So it's valid so that you are not just limited to a specific country, but you can apply to the others. Okay, as long as you share different qualifications or standards. Okay, so now let's proceed to World Bank Skills Development and Tibet programs. So the overview, the World Bank supports skills development initiatives in developing countries, focusing on strengthening vocational education and training to improve employment outcomes and reduce poverty. Okay, so you have there the key features, provide funding for skills development projects, particularly in low-income countries. And the second one, encourage public-private partnerships to enhance the quality and relevance on vocational training and supports training programs aimed at equipping workers with digital skills and other future-oriented competencies and promote gender equality and access for vulnerable populations in Tibet programs. So they are all just the same. Yeah, same with the others, like to improve employment outcomes and then reduce poverty. So, especially for the developing countries like the Philippines, so we need to enhance the vocational education and training because there are many people who are unemployed because they are lack of qualifications. So that's why if they have the skills so they can apply even though they are not a college graduate, but if they have the skills so they can apply for a job and it can help also their living and also overall in in our economy. Okay, so as industries increasingly rely on technology, workers must develop skills in areas such as data analysis, digital communication, and cybersecurity to remain competitive. So we need to adapt, no? Because there is an increase advancement. There is a continuous advancement of technology. So people must adapt. And also for future-oriented competencies, so it refers to the skills and knowledge and attitudes that individuals need to thrive in a rapidly changing world, particularly in the context of evolving job markets and technological advancement. Okay. So that's World Bank Skills Development and Tibet programs. Okay, next we have the G20. Okay, so when I say G20, so it's a group of 20 initiative for promoting quality apprenticeships. So the overview, the G20 countries emphasize quality apprenticeships as a means to enhance youth employment and foster the development of skilled workforces in member countries. So the key features promote quality apprenticeships as a way to bridge the gap between education and work, encourage international collaboration on apprenticeship standards and best practices, and emphasize the role of apprenticeships in tackling youth unemployment and ensuring inclusive growth. So you have there, this G20 is an international forum comprised of 19 countries and the European Union. So it brings together the world's major economies to discuss and coordinate economic policies, address global challenges, and promote sustainable development. So, like for example, the G20, so Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, so including also South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, US, so and others, including Japan, Germany, like that. Okay, so they aim to enhance youth employment, and foster the development of skilled workforces across member countries. So they have the collaboration. So they encourage partnerships between governments, educational institutions, and business to create robust apprenticeships programs that meet labor market needs. So you have they also promote um, apprenticeships or opportunities to those diverse group of young people, like, and also women and marginalized communities, and reduce unemployment to improve social equity. Okay, and also the G20 also serves as a platform for member countries to discuss and coordinate responses to global economic challenges, including financial crisis, trade issues, and sustainable development. Okay, so when we say vocational, no, so it's focusing on skills and people and economy. So they have similarities when it comes to like principles. Okay, so next is the African Union Continental Strategy for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. So you have there the overview. So the African Union has adopted a continental strategy to develop vocational education and training systems that can respond to Africa's growing labor market and demographic challenges. So this is designed to address Africa's growing job market needs and population changes. So the strategy is in line with the agenda in 2063, which aims for long-term economic growth and job creation. So Africa has a young and fast growing population. So with millions of young people entering the job market each year. So they really need to adopt a strategy to develop the vocational education and training. Okay, so you have the key features aligned to bit with the AU's Agenda 2063, which focuses on creating sustainable growth and employment opportunities, and also promotes skills development in key sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and services, and support the development of qualifications frameworks to enhance the recognition of vocational training across African nations, ensure inclusivity by targeting youth, women, and marginalized communities for training opportunities. Okay, for example, countries like Ethiopia and Kenya. So they are developing textile and garment manufacturing sectors. So, however, there is a need of workers with skills in sewing, fabric cutting, quality control, and machine operation. So, vocational training centers focused on these areas are crucial to meeting labor market demand. Okay. So you have there, so same as the others, there they have also qualification frameworks so that across African nations it can be it's accepted, and one person has a lot of opportunities to work, not just in one country. Okay, so next is we have the OECD Vocational Education and Training Policy. So the overview, the OECD supports policy development and vocational education through reviews and recommendations for member and non-member countries. So their work focuses on improving the quality and relevance of vocational education and fostering skills development. So key features encourage countries to align vocational training programs with labor market demands, promote lifelong learning and continuous skills development, particularly in response to technological changes, and support public-private partnerships and the involvement of employers in shaping vocational education programs. So you have there the OECD, so it stands for the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So it is an international organization that works to promote policies that improve the economic and social well-being of people around the world. So this also provides a platform for its member countries to discuss and coordinate policy in areas such as economic growth, education, employment, and trade. So it also conducts research, publishes reports, and provides recommendations on a wide range of policy issues. So the organization was founded in 1961 and its headquarters are in Paris, France. So it currently has 38 member countries including many of the world's most advanced economies. So as of 2024, the OECD has 38 member countries. So these countries are mostly high income economies like Australia, Canada, France, Japan, South Korea, United Kingdom, and United States. Okay, next, let's have Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC skills development policies. So it promotes vocational education policies to strengthen human resource development and improve labor mobility across its member economies. Tibet is seen as critical to addressing skills shortages in Asia Pacific region. So you have there the key features, develop policies that promote workforce mobility through recognized qualifications frameworks, focused on digital skills and training programs to enhance competitiveness in the global markets and encourage innovation and entrepreneurship as part of vocational training programs. Okay, so you have there, it has a 21 member economies. So these members work together to promote trade, economic growth, and cooperation in the Asia Pacific region. So the APEC or Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation members are Australia, Brunei, Hong Kong, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, and other countries, including also Thailand, United States, and Vietnam. So these economies collaborate to enhance trade, improve labor mobility, and develop policies including vocational education. Okay, so they have also the framework. So same with the other organizations. Okay, so that they can also address the skill shortages and improve the labor mobility across its member economies. And also, as what you can see there, there is also entrepreneurship. Okay, because once we learn or we acquire the skills possible, we can use the skills for applying for a job, or it can be running our own business using the skills that we acquire. And in that way, we can also help the economy. And also, it can maybe it can provide also jobs to other people through our business or like entrepreneurship. Okay, so now let's proceed to, okay, so those are the policies, international or national, international and international policies for vocational education. So now let's have the implementing policies to improve access to vocational training. So improving access to vocational training is crucial for enhancing workforce skills and addressing unemployment. So here are some policies and strategies that can be implemented. So I already shared the skills in the previous slides. So the following slides are just a recap or summary. Okay, because the policies that I've mentioned is based on like international and national at here. So this is just a general. So possible I already mentioned this one in the previous slide. Okay. First is subsidized training programs. So governments can provide subsidies or grants or to vocational training institutions to lower tuition cost for students. So I already said this one. So the through the federal funding, right? So that's what you can remember. Federal funding. So the governments can provide. So it can be like the higher governments to lower governments. So central authority to smaller political units. Okay. And partnerships in with industry. So establish partnerships between educational institutions and local industries to ensure training programs align with market needs. So apprenticeships, immersions. So those that I've mentioned, and also we've tried this one before we graduate. Before we graduate in the senior high school. Okay. So those like K to 12 graduates. So there was an immersion happened. Okay, next. Flexible learning options. So implement flexible schedules, online courses, and evening classes to accommodate working adults and other learners. Okay, so that those who are working, still have the chance to attend or to learn the specific skills. Okay, because there are flexible learning options. So outreach programs launch outreach initiatives in underserved communities to raise awareness about vocational training programs, training opportunities. So they need to like inform people, not just city people or yeah, so they need also to inform the people in countryside. So maybe they can have a seminar about the lunching or about the programs, the vocational programs or training that are available so that they can know and they can register and they have the opportunity to learn as well. Okay. Next is financial aid and scholarships. So you have there create targeted financial aid programs and scholarships for low-income individuals to encourage enrollment. Okay, so financial aid programs and scholarships because others they don't have uh, enough money to enroll or to register, and that is why they don't have the courage anymore to learn. So through this policy, so they will be encouraged to enroll because there is a financial aid and scholarships and also integration of soft skills training. So incorporate soft skills training, example, communication, teamwork into vocational programs to enhance employability because uh, when we say soft skills, it's important also. It's uh, the opposite of soft skills can be referred to as hard skills. So while soft skills encompasses interpersonal abilities, emotional intelligence, and personal attributes that enable effective communication and collaboration, hard skills are specific technical competencies that can be measured and defined. So it's important that we are, how to say, like total package. So not just the learning the technical skills or the technical competencies, but also we need to acquire the soft skills because if you don't have the soft skills and you only have the technical skills, so possible you cannot enter or you will not be hired because you don't have the soft skills. So the two skills, soft skills and hard skills must be present because it's important for the job. Okay, so next, promotion of apprenticeships. Expand apprenticeship programs by providing incentives to companies that hire and train apprentices. Okay, so providing incentives to companies. Okay, so that they will train and also they will hire. And you have there the utilizing technology and training. So invest in modern training technologies such as virtual reality and simulations to enhance hands-on learning experiences. So especially if someone is living far, or so I mean it's far from the main center, or I mean the training center, and then they can use the technology to experience uh, same, almost same with hands-on, so that they can also have the simulation and almost same like virtual reality. So they can also have the training through utilizing the technology, okay, for it to be efficient and effective. And it can make also the learning easy and accessible at the same time. Okay, so now let's have community colleges and technical institutes. So strengthen community colleges and technical institutes as primary providers of vocational training, ensuring that they have the necessary resources and support, and also evaluation and continuous improvement. So establish regular evaluation of vocational training programs to ensure that they meet labor market needs and student outcomes. So when we say community colleges and technical institutes, these are the educational institutions, no, that provide post-secondary education and training. So typically focusing on vocational or technical skills. So both community colleges and technical institutes play a vital role in education system by providing accessible practical training opportunities, and they should have the necessary resources because it's important how can they have the training if they don't have the resources. And also there should be a continuous evaluation, I mean evaluation and continuous improvement, because if there's no evaluation, so how can they know that the students learning outcomes are achieved, or the strategy is effective or not, or they need to change the curriculum or not. Okay, so there should be constant or continuous evaluation to ensure that the students' learning outcomes are achieved and if they meet the labor market needs. Okay, so next. So the role of government in vocational education reform. So the government plays a crucial role in vocational education reform, shaping policies, funding initiatives, and establishing frameworks that ensure the effectiveness and relevance of vocational training. Here are some key areas where government involved is pivotal. So you have there policy, development, and frameworks. So the rule government are responsible for creating national policies that outline the objectives and standards for vocational education. So the governments are responsible, no, for creating policies for them to have a guide for the educational system to be uh, to have a smooth flow of education. Okay, so that's one of the role of the government, creating policies and also funding and resource allocation. So I already said this one. So national and regional governments often allocate funds for vocational programs, grants, scholarships to increase accessibility, okay, especially for those vulnerable population or people. Next, quality assurance and accreditation. So governments establish quality assurance systems to ensure that vocational education programs meets established standards. So you have their assurance systems to ensure the vocational education programs meet established standards. Okay, so because there is a standard, let me say accreditation. So it's a formal recognition or approval process through which an educational institution, program, or organization is evaluated and certified as meeting specific standards of quality and competence, no? Kung nakamit ba sa standards, kay kung wala, oh, need it change. Okay? So, next, labor market alignment. So, governments conduct labor market assessments to identify skill gaps and align vocational training programs with industry needs. So, there should be assessments, no? To analyze various aspects of the labor market with a specific region, like also like the skill gap analysis. So identifies gaps between the skills possessed by the workforce and those required by employers, so helping to pinpoint areas where training and education may be needed. So they need to focus on the demand-driven skills. Okay. Next, partnerships with industry. So facilitating collaboration between educational institutions and industry stakeholders to develop relevant training programs and apprenticeships opportunities. So I already said this one, partnerships are important for us to emerge ourselves or for us to be, for the people to immerse themselves in a real setting. Okay, promotion of lifelong learning. So government encourage lifelong learning policies that promote continuous skill development beyond initial vocational training. Okay, so there should be a continuous lifelong learning. So upskilling and reskilling is important. Next, equity and inclusion initiatives. So implementing programs aimed at increasing access to vocational education for underrepresented groups such as women, minorities, and low-income individuals. Okay, so there should be, it should be inclusive. Okay, so it's for all who are capable. Okay, including those with disabilities. Okay, and international collaboration. So you have there the role of the government is to participate in international organizations and agreements to adopt best practices in vocational education reform. Okay, so you have the international collaboration refers to the cooperation and partnership between countries, organizations, and individuals to achieve common goals, share knowledge, and address global challenges. Because we are living in like the same in one world, and there are some global challenges that we need to address. So, for example, like how can we create a sustainable uh, development? Okay, so we need to collaborate with other countries for that one. It was possible also that they have um, policies that is more effective than ours, so we can also apply that to our country. Okay, so and also addressing global challenges like climate change, pandemics, poverty, like that. So that they can develop an effective solutions and responses that can be implemented globally. Okay, next, let's have the last subtopics, policy evaluation and its impact on vocational education outcomes. So policy evaluation is crucial for understanding the effectiveness of vocational education and training programs and ensuring that they meet intended outcomes. It involves assessing the design, implementation, and results of policies to inform decision making and improve practices. So the impact of vocational education policies on educational outcomes is significant and multifaceted. So it's multifaceted, so it describes something that has many different aspects, features, or dimensions. So effective policies can enhance access, improve the quality of training, and align skills with labor market needs, and ultimately lead to better employment outcomes for graduates. So when you say vocational education policies and educational outcomes is significant and multifaceted because it can affect not to many different aspects. If the if the policy is evaluated properly, so it can enhance or it can improve the training, it can align the skills, and it can help or it can lead to better employment outcomes. So that's why it's very important to evaluate the policies and also the impact if it's effective or not. Okay, the first one, increase enrollment and participation. So the impact, policies that provide financial support such as scholarships and subsidies can significantly increase enrollment in vocational education programs, especially among underrepresented groups. The second one is, okay, alignment with labor market needs. So policies that promote partnerships between vocational schools and industries help ensure training programs are aligned with current job market demand, leading to higher employability rates. Okay, so you have there the like impact, okay, in every policies. Next, improve quality training, another impact. So, quality assurance frameworks set by governments can enhance the standards of vocational education, leading to improved training outcomes and higher quality graduates. And another impact, enhanced skill development. Policies that emphasize skill training and lifelong learning help individuals acquire relevant skills, making them more competitive in the job market. So I guess it is just self-explanatory. Okay, next, higher employment rates. So graduates from well-structured vocational programs are more likely to secure employment, often in their trained fields due to the practical skills they acquire. Okay, so higher employment rates. Next, economic growth and competitiveness. Okay, by equipping the workforce with necessary skills, vocational education policies contribute to economic growth and increase the competitiveness of both regional and national levels. Next, promoting social equity. Policies aimed at increasing access for marginalized groups lead to greater social mobility and reduce inequality by providing more opportunities for education and employment. So next, feedback loops for continuous improvements. Evaluation policies create feedback mechanisms that inform ongoing improvements on vocational training, ensuring programs remain relevant and effective. If the policy is not relevant anymore, so of course they will remove and they will replace that with another for it to be effective and to continue the improvement. Okay, so I believe so that will be all for my report. So it's quite long. And thank you so much. Good day once again.